Amos, a dedicated EV charging station technician, had just received a major promotion. His passion for sustainability and his innovative ideas had earned him the coveted role of thought leader for EV fueling stations in the region. His new responsibilities were daunting, yet exciting. He was tasked with overseeing the expansion of EV charging infrastructure. Amos was determined to make his region a shining example of accessible and efficient EV charging.
I have so many ideas. I envision charging stations that are not just functional, but also aesthetically pleasing and user-friendly. I want to create a seamless experience for EV drivers. The future is electric, and I am determined to be at the forefront of this revolution. I am ready to make a difference.
Amos was full of ideas. He knew the future was electric, and he was determined to be at the forefront of this revolution. He was ready to make a difference. Cindy's birthday arrived, and Amos's surprise was a resounding success. Cindy was over the moon with her new electric car. The sleek design and eco-friendly features made her the envy of the neighborhood. She immediately took it for a spin, excited to experience the future of driving.
Wow, this is amazing! The car is not just a mode of transportation. It's a statement. It represents our commitment to a sustainable future. I love the instant acceleration and the quiet hum of the electric motor.
Cindy found herself driving more often, eager to experience the joy of her new EV. One sunny afternoon, Cindy decided to run some errands. Her to-do list included a trip to the grocery store, picking up dry cleaning, and a visit to her favorite bookstore.
All right, let's get these errands done.
As she pulled into the charging station at the local shopping center, she noticed a woman in a wheelchair struggling to reach the charging port of her car.
The challenges I face daily due to the lack of accessibility at many EV charging stations are overwhelming. The height of the charging port, the weight of the cables, and the limited space around charging stations make it difficult, and sometimes impossible, for me to charge my car independently.
Cindy listened intently, her heart sinking as she realized the invisible struggles people with disabilities faced every day. Angel's story was an eye-opener.
I had been so caught up in the excitement of my new car that I hadn't considered the challenges others might face. The transition to electric vehicles needs to be inclusive and accessible to everyone.
Angel's struggles were not unique. She was just one of many people with disabilities who faced similar obstacles. Cindy was moved by Angel's story.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Angel. I promise to spread awareness about this issue.
Cindy realized that the lack of accessibility at charging stations wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a major barrier for people with disabilities. They deserved the same freedom and convenience as everyone else. As she drove home, Cindy couldn't stop thinking about Angel's struggles. She knew she had to share this experience with Amos. That evening, Cindy recounted her encounter with Angel to Amos. She described Angel's struggles and the barriers she faced due to the lack of accessibility at EV charging stations. Amos listened intently, his mind racing.
I had been so focused on the technical aspects of EV charging infrastructure that I had overlooked a crucial aspect: accessibility. I am ashamed that I, as someone responsible for shaping the future of EV charging, had not considered the needs of everyone.
Cindy's story was a wake-up call. Amos realized that his vision of a seamless and enjoyable EV charging experience was incomplete if it excluded a significant portion of the population. He was determined to rectify the situation.
I need to educate myself about the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA regulations related to EV charging stations.
Amos dove into research, determined to understand the ADA requirements and find ways to incorporate them into his plans. He learned that charging stations needed to have accessible parking spaces, lowered charging equipment, adequate maneuvering space for wheelchairs, and accessible payment systems. He also discovered that many existing charging stations were not compliant with the ADA regulations. Amos realized that this was a widespread issue that needed immediate attention.
The ADA regulations are not just guidelines. They are a legal requirement and, more importantly, a moral obligation. I need to act fast and make accessibility a top priority in my action plan for EV charging infrastructure.
Amos knew he had to act fast and make accessibility a top priority in his action plan for EV charging infrastructure. As a result of their revolutionary work, Amos decided to take a significant step forward. He hired Angel as a consultant to ensure the continued success and innovation of their EV charging stations. This move not only solidified their leadership in the industry, but also paved the way for future advancements in sustainable transportation. With Angel on board, Amos and Cindy began to see immediate changes. Angel's insights and first-hand experiences provided invaluable guidance, ensuring that the new designs were not only compliant with ADA regulations, but also intuitive and user-friendly for everyone. The once overlooked aspects of accessibility now took center stage in their planning sessions. The team worked tirelessly, integrating features like voice-activated systems, tactile buttons, and visual aids. They also implemented real-time assistance through mobile apps, making it easier for users with disabilities to find and use charging stations. Each step brought them closer to their vision of an inclusive and accessible EV charging network. Word of their efforts spread quickly, garnering praise and recognition from both the industry and the community. Other companies began to follow suit, inspired by the changes Amos and his team were making. It was a ripple effect, leading to a more inclusive and sustainable future for all. Amos stood back, watching as Angel demonstrated the new features to a group of users. He felt a profound sense of accomplishment and gratitude. It was a new beginning, not just for the company, but for the entire EV charging industry. They had set a new standard, one that prioritized accessibility and inclusivity. Together, they had transformed a simple idea into a revolutionary movement. And this was just the beginning.